can keep this hand. My opponent has mulligan to 3. I'm very low on Creeping Tar Pit, to answer your question. I don't think that card is very good. In a deck that just wants all of its lands to enter untapped, you know? I actually do think the Mono Green Tron matchup is fine. Although losing Mystic Sanctuary made it worse. I feel like I have just been able to counter everything they do in the past. They also did mulligan to 3, so feeling extra good. I might force this if I hit one, so I'll go in Thought Scour. But Drown actually becomes very live against Mono Green Tron because they put so many cards in their graveyard by themselves. Well, they found an Urza's Mine. We could just lose the Karn here. Just lose to the Mold of 3. Basic Forest. Feels good. Those basic, yeah. I honestly am surprised so many people dislike these lands. I really like them. It's kind of funny. I mean, art is a very polarizing thing, right? That's kind of the cool thing about art is that two different people can look at it, and one person can say, "Wow, this looks really cool. I like it a lot. I'm going to put it in my deck." And then other people are going to be like, "Wow, that's horrendous. What was Wizards thinking?" I always thought that was interesting. But I'm a big fan. I think they look great. My opponent has found Tron on turn 5. Starting with the Thragtusk. Doesn't really feel worth countering. Maybe I should, though. We don't have infinite counter spells. It's a good draw. What was the last one they played? They played turn 4 Symbol, turn 5 Urza's Power Plant. There's also this one. How do you guys feel about this one? I like this one a lot too. But to each their own. Yeah, Ballista is fine. I know it kills my Snapcaster, but just like a card that dies to Fatal Push is pretty exciting. Might tap out for Typhoon, might not. We'll see. If we draw a blue card, I'm a little more incentivized, I think, to hard cast, but it's probably better to cycle. You know what creature land would be good right now? No, what? Tell me. I think this is fine. What was the kill with the Typhoon? Why would Creeping Tar Pit be good right now? I mean, I wouldn't be like attacking in this spot. Or is this just a meme? How do you buy those lands? I found them from bots. I don't know if there's a different way to. Yeah, so they got Coding, which doesn't do anything after we kill the Karn. I guess they could have Dismember. If they Dismember, we'll just Bloodchief Thirst the Karn, though. Ding, 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 ding. Just joking around mostly, gotcha. Just too defensive today. I've been a bad streamer today. I've been very toxic. Kind of like forcing this. Oops. Daft Punk split up. Yeah, I was never really into Daft Punk. But shout out to those who were. Into the Story should not exist as a Magic card. How could you say that to me? Do you not know what stream you're on? I didn't know that there were Into the Story haters. I like Into the Story more than the new Snow one. I don't know what you're talking about. There's a new Snow Into the Story. Isn't that card 5 mana, draw 3, and this is 4 mana, draw 4? Unless I'm thinking of a different one. Scry 5, draw 3. Scry lots, draw 3. I mean, Scry 5, draw 3 for 5 mana, I think is worse than draw 4 for 4 mana. Although Into the Story is not always draw 4 for 4 mana, it usually is. Scry 5 is probably worth 2 cards. I don't think... Scry 1 is not worth half a card, and Scry 5 is not worth 2 cards. You know, it's... People who say Scry 1 is worth half a card, and say if you Scry 1 twice, that's just not true, in my opinion. I could be playing too many Ceremonious Rejections, but obviously it feels kind of nice to have so many this game. I think I'd rather play 2 Clings and 1 Thirst. Thirst is just not that good against them, but it's maybe nice to have like 1 copy. Just try not to let their stuff resolve. Yeah, scrying being worth cards is a little more true and limited, I agree. Sounds good. Scry 5 is probably worth a card. I don't know, it's kind of hard to quantify. But maybe, yeah. But I would rather draw 2 cards than Scry 5, and it's not even really that close. And, you know, 1 mana Scry 5, if you have 2 cards, one is 1 mana Scry 5, and one is 1 mana draw a card, I'd rather play 1 mana draw a card in my deck. Well, if this Rejection was a Tails End, it would be a lot better than the Rejection here, notably. Like, why can't Scry 5 be worth Scry 5 and draw a card can be worth draw a card? Recross the path to Scry 16? Yeah? I don't know. Oh no, the Natty? How's it? This isn't Natty. My opponent Expedition mapped. Thragtusk is also very good here. Gets around Rejection. Just gonna kill us, I guess. We're back in 2012 and Swagtusk is king. Hell yeah. Losing a game of Magic is the cost I have to pay. The price I have to pay to make Thragtusk good. It's a price I'm happy to pay. I think I'm going to play Rejection here. If they have 2 threats, we can snap Rejection. And if they don't, we at least get to Thought Scour. Obviously, this Thragtusk is, you know, now just going to be lethal next turn if we don't start chumping, and we need to draw Drown into Loch to answer it, or we could potentially bounce it with Snapcaster or with Cryptic Command, and then counter it on the way down. They don't actually have green mana right now. Problem, of course, is they get a Beast token. I think this is fine. I want to do this unless I had Rejection up, but kind of think this is where we're at, you know. Yeah, I thought about playing a Thragtusk in the Bant Ephemerate deck. I decided to play still Time Warp Teferi Hero because an Alta Infinite Life was a big deal, but maybe if I end up playing the Jace the Mind Sculptor we were talking about, I will also play a Thragtusk. So I might steal the beast token. I think we're gonna wait. We can go like snap rejection and steal beast token maybe. Could go if they play Thragtusk, we could go like Snapcaster, Cryptic, Bounce Beast, counter. Kitchen Finks isn't better for bans. I'm really low on Kitchen Finks, especially in the Soul Scar Mage meta. But yeah, I'm really low on the card Kitchen Finks. Alright, so I think we're going snap counterbounce. Maybe I do want to snap rejection and then steal the token. This is also good, I guess, if they have like land and another threat. Yeah, Kitchen Finks I just think is pretty underpowered. Like I'm not like thrilled to ephemerate a Kitchen Finks so I can gain 2 life. It's a good draw. Let's draw 4 more. Yeah, Into the Story. Still busted, I guess. Ulamog is bad. We can drown most everything else. Drown in Ugin. You'd think Ugin would know how to swim. It's kind of awkward because this gives them green mana, but seems fine. Maybe it was better to Narset first. Or maybe it was better to make a Shark too, but what I like about the Narset here is that Narset stops stars and spheres from drawing a card on their turn. This is a Secret Lair island. They've been very divisive. A lot of people have come in saying that they look terrible. A lot of people have said that they look great. Very, very divisive cards so far. President is Thragtusk, 3 mystery cards. This could have been bait. Looks like it was not. I'm doing well, Nebel. How are you doing today? White Force instead of Charm. More mana efficient. Oh, Force in that spot. In case that they played something that... In case we had the read that they had Veil of Summer, like if they went Urza's Mind, play card, we went Drown, then we could beat a Veil of Summer was what I was thinking there. I know I didn't articulate that, so good question. They also sacked they sacked Chromatic Star into the Narset. And then they're dead they're dead to a 5/5 Shark, so we can Drown plus Shark and kill them. Yeah, I remember liking this matchup with the Grixis control deck back in the day, and it seems like that's still the case even without Sanctuary. This matchup's just fine. You can just counter everything they play. Like, you need to play probably a couple sideboard cards for the matchup, like we are, but it's not as bad as you would think it is. And in fact, I think it's a little favored for blue-black. What are the unfavored matchups with this deck? I haven't probably played enough to say for sure. Eldrazi was a really bad matchup in the past. Because like your drowns are just so much worse against Eldrazi compared to mono green. Teferi's Canister's playing blue-black version with Narset, Teferi's Puzzle Box Lock. I think that's the direction you can go as well. And there's like the TSP Jindrik variants too. There's a lot of different ways to build blue-black. Skirtus, 4 months, welcome back. Why River of Tears? River of Tears is great mana fixing in a blue-black control deck. It usually taps for the color you want it to, when you want it to, and doesn't cost you life and comes into play untapped. Yeah, I did once play Tron blind without seeing my opponent's side of the field, and we did win 2 out of 10 matches doing that. Which was awesome. River is going to be awkward with Drown on opponent's turn. Yeah, we could just main phase Drown the Goblin Guide, though. Certainly. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. Castle Vantress. Sorry, guys. Probably just a game-losing play to make that mistake here. Yeah, opponent is playing John Burn. The Fatal Push on top. Good. Fatal Push plus Drown this turn. Is there a VOD of the Blind Trial matches? It was a long time ago. It was a celebration for me becoming a Twitch partner. Push now? I think we would just push on their turn. Because we still get the Goblin Guide trigger. We need the rest of the River of Tears cycle. Blue-white River of Tears would be great. Kurd Bros, thank you for your 14 months. Welcome back, buddy. If you push on their turn, you can't draw. I can, because I have a land enter off of the Delta. Wait, really? If you played a land this turn. Well, River of Tears has really done me in this game, huh? It's been so long defending River of Tears. Didn't know that's how it worked. Alright. Well, River of Tears is better if you understand how the card works, is my new stance on it. My new stance is if you understand how the card works, the card gets much better. My opponent decides not to attack with Goblin Guide, though. Maybe out of mercy. It just works. Yeah. So embarrassing. If we can find a Cling to Dust, I'm feeling pretty good about our spot. Opponent only has one card in their hand. Bloodchief's Thirst on top. I mean, we're going to fetch here at some point anyways. Although I guess if they responded to that fetch with the burn spell, we were dead, huh? They should be holding lands. No, they have Bump of the Night to flashback. They're not casting. They're not flashing back right now. They have one card in their hand. Might be good to just Into the Story here. I kind of like just not playing around anything. I think this is okay. Like, most of their burn spells are sorcery speed. Or maybe I shouldn't say most, but a good percentage of them are. There could definitely be Searing Blaze. They didn't flashback Bump in the Night, which is like certainly feels like a pretty easy thing to forget about. Yeah, I think casting it into the story there was good, and obviously it worked out. It wasn't definitely the right play though. Felt okay though. I'm gonna wait now. With triple Force of Negation, I'm feeling pretty good about our spot. Be sent 11 months. Is this a YOLO stream? Always has been. Always has been. Definitely lucky our opponent got so flooded. We could go Snap into the story here. Maybe it's a bit better to just draw 2 with Charm. I want to bait my opponent to casting any burn spell that they have. Yeah, so I think I'll just make a 2/2 Shark, again, to try to bait them while we have the Force. Sorry, B_sent, sorry. B_sent. That's what you get up for tier 3. It's me pronouncing the underscore. They have 2 Searing Blazes? No. Kind of surprised they haven't flashback Bump in the Night. You'd think most red black burn players dream about being able to flashback Bump in the Night for lethal. We still haven't found one of our 2 Cling to Dust yet. Here it comes. Oh, here it comes. Watch out, boy, it's bumping the night. Yoink. I'll take that, thanks. Still no Cling to Dust. We're doing okay. Didn't draw a blue card either, actually. No! Come on! I don't know. We deserve to lose that game, but thought we were gonna win. Thought we were gonna win. I think we can cut the Thought Scours in this matchup. They do a good job of filling up their own graveyard. I think we've got a good matchup. Could that have been played around? Yeah. Yep, could have been. But I was just thinking that off of Into the Story, we were so likely to draw either Cling to Dust or any blue card that we didn't need to play around it. The main phase snap was kind of greedy. I don't know. I think it was fine. Like if we want to snap Into the Story, which then we have to do it main phase, otherwise our opponent can respond to it by trying to kill us if they have 2 instant speed burn spells. And so any blue card, which if you look at our deck is like all blue cards or Cling to Dust, off of the 4 cards, means we don't lose to that. Wasn't playing Drown and Loch to play there? I don't really think so. We don't have Force of Negation up. Let me keep this. Yeah, we couldn't snap Into the Story unless we did a main phase, really. Unnecessary is probably the word for snap Into the Story. I'm not sure if that's true. Because it is possible that our clock is not fast enough and our opponent's able to I think I'm fetching here because I don't want to have to shock in the Watery Grave next turn. Yeah, I think it was fine. I think it's very easy to, like, in retrospect say it was bad to snap Into the Story, but I didn't mind it. Double bump of the night. Yeah, the castle after River of Tears was certainly the tough thing there. Suspender Rift Bolts. I think I like countering this. Draw a blue source and counter the Rift Bolts. We're in pretty good position. There we go. Gonna fetch now to play around Skewer the Critics. Down to 7. And 4. My Kingdom for a Cling to Dust. Guess we don't want to Field of Ruin now. It's so bad if they have Lightning Bolts. I think I am going to draw 2 cards with Archmage's Charm here. We lose to exactly 2 Lightning Bolts, or I guess like Lightning Bolts Sack a Mountain, but I would love to like bait out a 2-mana burn spell with the Spell Snare here, which we did not get to do. Feels bad. I'm gonna use Drown first because we're restricted to 1 black spell a turn. Cling to dust, please, please, please. Could go Snap Cryptic, or we could go Spell Snare, then Snap Archmage's Charm. I'm gonna Spell Snare. Seems like they are maybe kind of light on 2 mana spells. Cling to dust. Really like that we have something to Fatal Push here. Can't make a 3/3 Shark and cast a 2 mana spell, otherwise I would. I think I will make a 1/1 Shark though. Those are good draws. Yeah, we found out last game that River of Tears does not work with fetches, really. I mean, we don't need, I think, extra black sources on our turn on sorcery speed. That just is never going to be relevant this game. My opponent spins Rift Bolts. I will activate Castle Vantress, which is a great feeling. If we keep a land, we have Hardcast Force Gust up. I think I am interested in at least hardcasting one of the forces because they're just 3 mana 1-for-1s. Have I ever been a burn player? Yeah, I've played every deck in Modern for the most part. I think Boggles is like the one deck I've never played, but there's very few decks in Modern that I haven't played. But I could kill my Snapcaster Mage. Or they could target me. Stabilizing at 1 life always feels great. Yeah, Boggle's too complicated. I can't remember, do you need auras and lands? Or is it lands and creatures? Or is it just auras and creatures? Can never remember. Blue-red Foretold Living End. Yeah, I've played that deck. I don't want... let's not turn this into a guessing game of like guess decks I've played, right? Which I guess me saying that immediately invites all of the typing. Gust in your... no, I think I want to use the 1 force first. I'm not sure. I mean, Gust is like such a premium card. Although actually, them having bump of the night, actually maybe we should Gust first, because we can't Gust a bump. Mono white control. I did that as a donation deck. We have 4/1 with it too. Yeah. I think that gusting this makes sense because of bump in the night, mostly. They do put it on the bottom, and then they concede. It's a weird concession. I don't know. It's not too often you see burn players concede when their opponent's at 1 life. We drew Cling to Dust. I think I'm going to keep. Obviously no turn 1 removal spells, like a little awkward, but we still have Drown. They're really likely to like crack a fetch or cast a burn spell. Force the bump so they can't flash it back. Decided not to, because we have Cling to Dust. It would definitely be too early to accuse our opponent of sniping just because they ended up playing 1 turn very slowly. You know, I think it's way more likely they were like walking their dog or had to use the restroom or something, right? Usually I don't like to accuse my opponent of sniping unless we're like 100% sure. And we just aren't 100% sure here. If they Blood Moon us, it's great. I don't think that that's going to happen. At least right now. So we can drown the Eidolon, go down to 9, and they'll have 2 cards in their hand. We have Force if they do go 3 1-mana burn spells here. The green is for at least a Targus Command. That's the only green card we've seen so far this match. Two cards away from escaping Cling to Dust. I think we have to force this. If we don't, the force becomes much worse. Yeah, could be playing Cindervines too, or Xenagos's Wrath, whatever that card's called. No, Destructive Revelry. Revelry. I did it. I said it. Put it in the tank. Or doing whatever AFK activity there they've been doing. I do want to maybe pull up the next deck real quick if I can find it. Is it in the Kaldheim? Oh, here it is. Why is it here? Why isn't it in the T's? I don't know. But I want to revisit Temur Giants today. Playing, Dryad plus Valakut. I also do have enough mountains to trigger Valakut naturally. I'm not sure if that's the best way to build the mana base, but I think it's fine now that you don't need to turn on Field of the Dead anymore. So we're gonna play this next, I think. Drawing a land, not ideal. Maybe get them off of green mana here. And then we have a Cling to Dust going forward. Only 2 Bronecrusher. Yeah, I don't think you want to be playing too many of that card. Just does miss a lot of things. Well, I'm going to go ahead and Cling an Eidolon, which is like drawing a card here. Got 2 cards in their hand. Another Rift Bolt and a land. Okay. Hopefully no Dwarven Mine in their deck. We drew it's not like the 3rd or 4th land in a row on our end, but it's a very good land. If Kling had scryed 3 cards, would that be worth the card? No. Ah. I mean, if it scryed the 3 lands to the bottom, it'd be better. Yeah. No Dwarven Mine. Oh, no more fetchable target. Deal. And they drew Copperline Gorge. There were 2 more lands on top. Yikes. I think I'm going to upkeep Scry. Ah! Feels like game over. Feels like game over. You got a spell over there, opponent? You got a spell? How insane would Price of Progress be in Modern? It'd be pretty good. I think I'm going to snap Kling, their Eidolon, and their upkeep here. Up to 6. How did Dex not run it into the story before the Uro ban? Because it was really, really bad against Uro. I don't know if that's a joke or not. Probably was. All right, 2-1 or 2-0. Tough match though. Do you like this island art? It's totally fine. Art is subjective, and that's the beautiful thing, right? That two different people can look at a picture, and one person can say, wow, I like how this looks, and one other person will say, wow, you have no taste. I can't believe you like this. It's a beautiful thing. Can you highlight it so we actually see it? I mean, didn't I just pull it up and zoom in? I feel like I just did that. Triple Monastery Swift Spear? You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me with that. Thank you for the host, Wicked Harpy. Appreciate ya. I don't know if anybody's ever beaten triple Monastery Swift Spear. Although Archmage's Charm would have been a good draw. Seems like more people like it than dislike it. Ugh. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Okay. Probably going tap draw this turn. Have to draw some more removal spells against the very threat heavy draw from Blue Red Prowess. So Archmage's Charm, Snapcaster Mage, Bloodchief's Thirst, Fatal Push are good draws. That was on my wish list. So I might end up playing Cling to Dust instead of Drown this turn for mana efficiency. Could also end up using Force. But it has 4 cards still in their hand, which is so many. Manamorphose in combat. So probably need to drown a Swift Spear, right? Just gonna wait for them to pass priority back to me. Might even be dead killing one of these Swift Spears. Yikes. Alright, well. I mean, at this point, we're definitely doing this. I'll just go ahead and drown 1. Maybe they'll be afraid to not cast any more spells. Gross. We bring in the Gust, the Kalitas, the Disputes, cut the Force of Negations, and the Thought Scours. I think this is good. I think we've got a fine matchup. Maybe I actually want to not play this Jace, though. We'll play the first Force. I think Jace is not good in this matchup. Keep this hand. Kind of nice that because we have the Sunken Ruins, we can fetch up our basic swamp without fear of drawing Archmage's Charm. Yeah, our hand is very good. I think I want to use Fatal Push because Bloodchief's Thirst can answer a Stormwing entity. It's also a bit more mana efficient, of course, to just use it right now. Later, Harpy. Thanks for popping in. I smell a Stormwing entity. Which, again, we can Bloodchief's Thirst. A second Stormwing would be bad if we can't find, like, a Drown. I almost have 6 here. pretty excited if we get to make this block. Thought for sure it was Stormwing. The dream blocked the 1/1 Shark on the Sprite Dragon. Feels so good. To have light up the stage. Oh, Stormwing, sure. Oh, here it comes. Stormwing entity. You'll scry too. Get the 2/2 Shark in play. Put one card on top, one card on bottom. He's gonna kick. How could they do that to my Shark? I make a 4/4 Shark to try to block here. Not sure. We'll see what they do. Yeah, might just Aether Gust Soul Scar Mage now, because they've got the Lava Dart to kill the Shark. But maybe I would be okay with that. But now that it's at least 3/4, I'll just Gust. Or maybe now I'll block Monastery Swiftspear with the Shark. Don't really want to play Gust Snap Push, since that plays really hard into Spell Pierce, and that's a card that these decks usually play a lot of. Now, hard casting into a Spell Pierce or Dispute was a pretty good way to lose the game that last turn. They play so many Spell Pierces usually. Just gonna make a 4/4 and block Swiftspear. Which beats the Lava Dart. If they have Lightning Bolts, you know, we're still getting a 2-for-1. Which are starting to add up. They've had a very threat-heavy draw again with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 threats. They do have the bolts. Got Soul Scar first. I mean, the Shark's just like not big enough if we do that. Drawing a land, not ideal. They put the Soul Scar Mage on top, and we can shuffle with this though. Then we can snap push the Swiftspear. They've got one card in the Lava Dart. We've got a Snapcaster Mage and, you know, River of Tears. Their one card should be a spell because they've been missing land drops. Pretty good spell too. Damn it. Well, I don't think I was supposed to play around that, but it's gonna be really hard to beat unless we top deck exactly like into the story. It's a very interesting Lava Dart. Guess we hold the land. Oh no, playing the land was better if we draw into the story. I'm still, even though it was better to play the land, I'm happy to draw this. And they could have like double Spell Pierce or Dispute plus Spell Pierce, double Dispute, but wow, we're winning all of a sudden. That's awesome. What a swingy game. Snapcaster into the story, so lucky. The key there, I think, was really to complain about how well our opponent was drawing. I think that was exceptionally important for being able to top deck well in this spot. I'm still a little worried about Spell Pierce, but I think we are just go ahead and fire off Cryptic here. They sacked the Fiery Islet. They gut shot my Snapcaster. Kind of surprised to see gut shot in their deck post board. I'm going to go ahead and draw a card with Cling to Dust. Guess we probably want to play our land and draw another card with Cling to Dust. You love this deck and particular choices. Have you ever experimented with a rogues? A little bit, yeah. And Grixis was the first version of this deck I built. Back when Throne of Eldraine first came out, I was playing this deck and I loved it. But yes, you are right. There's a ton of different directions you can go with this archetype. Opponent packed it in. Awesome. Tough game 2. Really thought we were going to lose to that Bedlam Reveler. If we had the land, and yeah, if we had played the land, we would have been able to dispute the dispute, so now we know. Now we know. Was Grixis not that good? Grixis was okay, but I think that this is better. Like with Bloodchief's Thirst, you don't need to splash color for the extra 1 mana removal spell. And Kolaghan's Command is good right now, but I don't think it's so good that you really want to splash red. So game 3 against Blue-Red Prowess. I'm going to keep. They've had really, really strong draws all 3 games. They bowled a 6 this game, at least. Yeah, I remember I used to main deck Shadow of Doubt. This does not feel like a main deck Shadow of Doubt metagame, but always like that. Fetching Basic Swamp has been really good this match. No second land, wow. Sunken Ruins has been pairing very well with our Basic Swamp as well. What do you think about Azcanta? Not a playable modern card, sadly. I really, really like it. It's really fun. I love Standard with it. Not good enough, in my opinion. I think with this, I waited a little bit too long. There's like no way my opponent attacks this dragon into the Typhoon, probably, so it's just Cryptic. But yeah, we don't have a good answer to Stormwing Entity here, so I think it's actually good to Gust this Manamorphose. They put it on top, so we can just Time Walk them again next turn. Ideally, I'd like the Shark to be a bit bigger, but I think it's good to cycle. Yeah, I'll Shock, and we can Gust the Manamorphose and make another 2/2 Shark. Yeah, they're also paying life, which is relevant because we actually have a clock. Time walking them. Cool. 3-0 with Dimir. Very cool. Actually, either. I'm gonna keep this, I think. Yeah, I probably missed top 32. But it sounds like their list was pretty similar to what I was playing. If I was gonna play 1 or 2 Tassiger, the main would have cut like a Jace or a Shark. You think cutting 1 sword? No, I think I like both swords. If you cut a sword, play 3 Stoneforge Mystic, but I think I like 4 Stoneforge Mystic in both swords. I guess that was not probably the right time to cast Cling. You think it was identical to my list? That's cool. That's good that we both had good runs with it, even though I missed top 32. Had a good... I think I lost my last 2 matches, right? Yeah, it was bad for me to... Cling there. Just let them tap out for this so easily. Probably gonna main phase snap, scour them. Dimir versus Teferi, the Fun Raveler. Although we do have like Shark Typhoon and Bloodchief's Thirst now that I didn't the last time I played this deck. That can combat Teferi. Spike, what do you think of blue-white with Colonnade? It won the challenge. It did well in NRG. I do think that control decks are good right now, or at least like decent, and so you can definitely find success with these kind of decks. I just think that I'd rather be playing castles, and that I don't think blue-white is the best control deck. But it does seem like to be the control deck that people are flocking to immediately, at least. I'm also not a big fan of Terminus without Mystic Sanctuary, but maybe it's still good. Wait, is this going to work? Wow! Awesome. Now I feel like we're just streets ahead. Was Field of Ruin necessary so far? It did help us win against Greentron. I think 2 Field of Ruin is fine. Kind of hard to play too many more and a bunch of Archmage's Charms. We're playing 3 Archmage's Charms. You saw someone playing Behold the Multiverse? Yeah, I've seen people play it too. I don't know how I feel about it. I haven't cast the card myself. I know Harry MTG has been liking it. No Mystic Sanctuary to counter this. I think I'm just attacking here. I don't really mind if they trade. We get into the story now and then discard 3 cards. 2 cards in the bottom with Omen. Let's not lose this fight. Drown is so good. Drown is great. So we could main phase into the story. We're still discarding if we do, and that's pretty bad against them resolving a Planeswalker, so I think we still wait. I'm going to draw 2 cards in their end of turn and probably use one of my Field of Ruins. Well, maybe I should be saving for Colonnade, but these lists usually play 2 Colonnade. That's really bad if we draw another Archmage's Charm and we don't Field of Ruin. No, I didn't watch very much Magic yesterday. I try to have my Sundays, if I'm not playing a tournament, just be days for me to focus on other interests, just take a day off, and I find that helps manage burnout and stuff. So we're off Aether Gust. I'm playing Gust. I think not every deck wants to play Gust. I think if you're not playing Snapcaster Mage, Gust is way worse. And a big part of the reason why Gust was so good, I think I might like to Cryptic counter this. Puts down to 3 cards. It's pretty likely that one of them is dead. I guess we can't Cryptic and Charm right now. Alright, just let this resolve. I played Behold the Multiverse and Cosmo and Blue-White Stoneblade and always had a full hand. Well, sounds about right. I'm not sure if always having a full hand is necessarily exactly a good thing. Because you can always have a full hand if you want it. Am I discarding Second Thirst? I guess so. So this probably gets countered and we can Thirst. And kind of hoping to draw a Force of Negation, I guess. There it is. Can pay for Mana Leak. Main deck Dovin's Veto. Yikes. Guess we go bounce draw. Should say force pitching Mana Leak. Oh man, main deck Dovin's Veto. Brutal. Ah, Spell Snare is so bad for us. I mean, they only have one card, and that last card does need to be another counter spell. But they've been sculpting their hand with Jace. Damn it. Ugh. Brutal. We go bounce draw. Don't think we can afford to hardcast the Typhoon. They find another force. It's kind of seemed like maybe they did with that pause. They literally had no dead like removal spells in their hand, which feels bad. Of course they shuffled some away. So is that 2, 3 Force of Negations and a Dovin's Veto in the main. And 2 mana leaks. What was the poll revolt? Like 60% of people liked the island and 40% didn't. Yeah, I haven't forgotten Cling. Like I think I'm making a 3/3 Shark here, so I can also Cling to Dust. I guess I should Cling to Dust first. Put it also in my deck. I got 20 cards in library. Good draw. Will be good if they have a Shark Typhoon. A lot of these lists seem like they're not playing the card though. Land. Push land. Not great. Not great at all. Probably getting close to concession time, although it's possible we even beat a Jace Ultimates if we like Thought Scour them a couple more times. Super punished for exiling my other Cling. Just being lazy. Is that 4 Force of Negations? That's 4 Force of Negations and a Dovin's Veto in the main deck. It's wild. This is game 1. They have 4 Dovin. This is game 1. Yeah, obviously. Exiling the Cling was bad. It was kind of, the card's like so annoying to resolve. Yeah, I should have also been holding lands, I think, for the ultimates. But my opponent doesn't seem to be going for it necessarily. You do get to Castle Vantress. Yeah, decking seems like a real concern for them. Especially because we're a Thought Scour deck and we still have 2 Thought Scours left. Is this just better than Grixis? I think so. I'm not 100% sure. They're also playing 3 Colonnades at least, so probably maybe a play set. Oh, whoops. Tap the Castle Vantress. I'm gonna wait until they fire up Colonnade before I Field of Ruin one. We're so ahead of cards in library here. Oh no! Oh no, sorry. I should not have shuffled away that Shark. That was pretty bad. I was just thinking I want to get... I didn't want to draw all of my fetchable targets if Into the Story even resolved. So bad. I mean, We'll be okay, I think. Doing a field their field to save our castle. I don't think that matters so much. Maybe though. Puts down to 8 cards in library. We haven't played the Giants deck yet. I guess no reason to scry because we have to shuffle. So we would have shuffled away the Shark Typhoon anyways. 104.3A. My opponent has 8 cards in their library. This is not 104.3A territory. Yeah, we can't field their field when they have double colonnade. I should have let them attack first, though. Do we make them draw too? I think we still target ourselves. Oh, damn it, I should have not supposed to play the Tarn. That was so bad. Because if they go for the Jace ultimate, playing the Tarn is horrendous. They almost definitely have a path in their hand. We'll just make them have it. Why let them attack first? So that way they don't fire up the other colonnade with the mana. They are plussing targeting me. They put a card on top, so we'll shuffle. Don't have too many good cards to left. We've got one more Shark Typhoon. That's kind of it. Yeah, push can't kill Colonnade because it's a fairy. Well, we drew the perfect card. The only good card, really. Oh, there's also Thought Scours. Right. Maybe draw Scour into Scour. Yeah, Exile and Cling was so bad. Especially because we could start gaining life with it. Just pick an arbitrary number for Shark Typhoon. There's the other the path. They have 6 cards left in their library. We drew Thought Scour. It's possible they're just out of counter spells. They put a card on top. If they're out of counter spells, I think we win. Wait, they put Thought Scour on top of my library? Just now realizing that. It's kind of funny. Yeah, but they're decking before they're killing me with Colonnade now. I don't really know what I'm doing with this Jace. I guess I'll just plus. Am I running anything that kills Planeswalkers? I've got 2 Bloodchief's Thirst and then Shark Typhoon, also pretty good against Planeswalkers. I think the Jace ultimate themselves, they don't have time. They only have 2 cards in their library. The last card in deck is Terminus. They hit me down to 6, and then down. If they've been holding a Colonnade or a way to attack, they can kill me. If they have a Snapcaster in their hand. Eliminate doesn't worth it. I don't know. Probably not. Maybe though. Maybe. I'll think about it. We don't really have any relevant cards in our library, I think. If they have Snapcaster in their hand, they win. Just any creature, really. Nope. Poggers. Not sure how they win now. What's the win con? We've got 1 Jason, 4 Shark Typhoons, and 3 Snapcasters in this list. Can't believe they left Thought Scour on top of my library. Oh, they have Teferi Hero. They have Terminus! They have Terminus their own Colonnade. Wow. That was exciting. But they're not ultimating next turn. I'm not sure how this... Yeah, they're not ultimating next turn. 1 Creeping Tar Pit. I refuse. Do I have an Archmage's Charm left in my deck? 1, 2, 3. No, I don't. It says lol GG and then conceded. I think Trumpet's not very good. It just enters tapped. I'm just not that interested. Right, this is my sideboard plan. Thought Scour for the win! Oh, Thought Scour is so good. And they're down on time, which is kind of relevant. Definitely did not play that game very well, though. I've been saying that so much today. Just having an off day. Snap keep this. Yeah, the Terminus to Colonnade was an awesome play. I'm not sure how many times we Thought Scoured our opponent, but we Thought Scoured them enough times. Is this version not different from what's on Stream Decker? I don't think so. Maybe I changed a couple cards. I'm not 100% sure. Sometimes I do that. Yeah, they could have had another Terminus in hand. It's true. But they also have to Ultimate Jace targeting themselves, right? Which can't feel good. Let me just let this resolve. You have to Fairy with Dispute up, and I don't have Drown up. Man, getting back-to-back 2-for-1 feels bad. Alright, gonna slam Jace. Nice! Wow, things turned around real quick. I mean, Drown didn't hit anything there, for whatever that's worth. You have Drown plus Dispute plus Force up. Also make it Shark end of turn. We have a field for their Colonnade. Why do you feel like this match is already over due to the card advantage you got with Jace? Because it is. But also missing their land drop somehow. What is this? Ah, well. Snap Dispute, I guess. They dispute my Snapcaster. Just fine. We'll let this resolve and then just drown their Cryptic Command. Now that they have 4 cards in their yard. What do I think about opponent's deck? Seems like a fine way to build blue-white. There's a lot of different ways to build it. I would play Shark Typhoons, not Colonnades. Without me being a broken record, which is difficult for me to do. I think Castle Art. Like, if my opponent had been playing Castle Ardenvales instead of Celestial Colonnades, they would have won that last game, for whatever that's worth. So I'm a big fan of Castle Ardenvale, not a big fan of Colonnade, especially because Colonnade is a tap land in the deck that also wants to be playing Teferi Hero and Jace, and even if you're not playing Shark Typhoon, I think that's another big reason to be on Castle instead of Colonnade. I feel like Dimir Inverter might not be bad. You might be right about that. I haven't put a lot of thought into Inverter recently, but there's probably something there. Are you trying to trade a Shark for a Colonnade? I'm not interested in trading Shark for Colonnade while I have Field of Ruin. My opponent can't really effectively Colonnade me here. Is Ardenvale better than Vantress? Yes and no. Like, tapping for blue is better than tapping for white, but the making a 1/1 is better because it actually wins the game. Even though Scry 2 is worth a whole card, right? According to Twitch chat today. Scrying 2 is worth a card. No, 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 no. I kind of like fighting over this. Just use Archmage's Charm first. Yeah. Is 1/1 worth a card? No, but like 3 1/1s are. I honestly, I kind of feel like no amount of scry is really worth a card truly. There are some situations where it is, but I feel like not really in a vacuum. In some situations, like, yes, but it's hard to really replace just actually putting a card in your hand. All right, guys, we are 4-0. Let's get a prediction going if we're going to get a trophy here. All right, I hope that we're playing a grindy matchup with triple Shark Typhoon. We're on the play, put him all to 6. Turn 1 Swift Spear incoming. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Drown probably at least kills the Swift Spear. Dredge. Well, we are prepared for Dredge. We have 3 Jailers and a Kalitas in the sideboard. And we do have main deck Cling to Dust, but that's not super relevant, to be honest. It's really hard to beat Dredge game 1. Theoretically possible, I guess. Just like a Typhoon. If I don't need to counter anything, yeah. But I'll counter anything. Maybe not Loam. Yeah, I'll cycle for 0. I'll probably force Loam here. Maybe not. Yeah, my least favorite card ever, Creeping Chill, facing off against us. Another Creeping Chill, and an Amalgam. Shriekhorn, so good. Now they've dredged over a Narcomoeba and a Conflagrate and an Ox of Ognass. That's 5 good dredges in a row. Yikes. Yeah, if only we had Creeping Tar Pit this game. Then we couldn't ever lose. Alright, pretty bad if they Conflagrate me here for 5. I'm going to try just hope that they don't. I'm really not sure how we win this game. It's maybe just better to go to the sideboard game. Which is why I've always disliked playing against Dredge, on stream at least. It always feels like the worst content possible. I always feel like I'm in a rush to get the game over with. Also, Ox is so good against Drown here. Right, they did hit some bad dredgers this time. Should have stolen Shriekhorn to send a message. The message of we're not making tight plays, I think. And Ox is so good against Drown right now. I think we're just going to game 2. Writing's on the wall. But we're prepared. I don't think you need to be this prepared for Dredge for every single deck, or with every single deck rather. But boy, is this match like unwinnable if you don't play Jailer. Don't think I'm playing spot removal. Play 1 push over the Thought Scour. No, I'm not that interested in rejection. Why am I playing those specific graveyard hate cards? So if you play Ashiok or if you play Leyline of the Void, then you turn off your Drowns and you're into the stories, but Jailer doesn't turn off those cards. And then surgical, you have to have like 3 surgicals to be dredge, just like not enough by itself. But Jailer is enough by itself. Jailer also dodges Ancient Grudge and Nature's Claim, which they'll often bring in against you. Play Narset. Narset doesn't dig for Jailer. I could see playing Narset over push. I'm gonna keep it in 1 push though. We went 3-2 that league, Sandstar. I think this is the better variant. Hi, Athena. Does Athena want to say hi to the stream, or does Athena want to go OUT? She wants to go OUT. Not even talking about Ravenous Trap. I mean, Ravenous Trap also not like better than these cards, but also has the same problem where it turns off your drowns and into the stories, right? Just same thing. So I'm going to be mulliganing kind of aggressively. This is keepable, I think. Kalitas is pretty good. Drown on turn 2 should counter most things. Field of Ruin is also sometimes randomly good. And if we could win this game without showing them Jailer, then we could maybe mulligan to Jailer game 3 and win that way. I mean, for Conflagrate to kill Jailer, they have to spend 3 mana on it, which is certainly not that hard for them to do, but not a guaranteed thing. Did I try Esper control Stoneblade? I don't really know what the draw to being Esper is. I guess push plus Teferi is okay, but you don't get a Triome, which I really don't like. Just not very high on Esper. I think I'm going to Field of Ruin their Stomping Ground to stop them from loaming, but I'll wait and to see if they actually dredge the loam first, I guess. They did. Maybe this is bad against Bloodghast being milled, but they didn't mill Bloodghast. No, I'm not very... I don't like Esper Charm very much. Bummer. I mean, Esper Charm is very cool. But is it very good? Not really. So their hand is Loam, Mystery Card, then we'll include Mire. Oh, they don't put the Stomping Ground back into their hand. Interesting. Well, I'm not going to slam Kalitas here. I'd like to be able to counter that Ox. There's Bloodghast to bring back the Amalgam. Shocking Blood Crypt, so they can go Loam plus Ox. I'm thrilled that I get to Cryptic Command Ox. I'm assuming, right? Their one unknown card would have to be like... It can't even be Cathartic Reunion. Yeah, it just has to be Ox here. Wait, are they exiling? They have to exile either Prized Amalgam or Life from the Loam here. Veil? Does Dredge play Veil? I've never seen Veil in Dredge. Not that they can't play it, of course. I've just never seen it. Yeah, Force doesn't stop Ox. We could play Kalitas here. If I was supposed to play River of Tears, I guess. I'm gonna wait. Milled over another Ox, a Cathartic Reunion, and a Conflagrate. Could go counterbalance Amalgam. I'll just counter draw. The Kalitas is pretty good against Amalgam. JTMS. Seems like maybe my opponent boarded out Creeping Chills. Sometimes people do that. Obviously, like a little early to claim that. I'll probably just let this go. We've got Kalitas coming down. I want to be able to force that loam, I think. They're still 5 cards away or 3 cards away from being able to exile Ox. Play this for Jace, I guess. Yeah, no cards in their hands. Can force loam, which is usually pretty nice in these kind of spots. But maybe not that necessary. I guess I could just dredge Thug and then escape Ox. That's actually what they're doing here. Frustrating. Jailer does turn off Creeping Chill, yes. They brought in Leyline of Sanctity, which is basically dead in this matchup. 2 Narcomoebas. Kind of nice that they're hitting Narcomoeba at least while there's no Amalgam. Not the end of the world. We can find a Drown in the Loch and make a zombie. That's going to be a big deal. We can Gust the Ox too. Wow. It's a lot of gas. I probably won't need Force for this turn. I think I'll just put back the... maybe I should put back the Force. I probably just want to Gust now. Oh no, if we Gust now, they go Golgari Thug. That would have been a huge mistake. I think Dimir is better than Azurius Control at the moment. Not 100% sure. My sample size with these games is not that high. Salvite, thank you for your Twitch Prime. Hope you're having a good day today. I also think Bant and Jeskai are good. Not 100% sure that Jeskai is good at the moment, but I kind of like it in theory. How much are the new islands? They're like a little less than a ticket each, I think. Yeah, this is up now, Spellbomb. That's a good point. We're on Yixlid Jailer, and I'm going to really try to win this game without showing my opponent Jailer and try to steal game 3 just by slamming a turn 2 Jailer. So they don't have a Dredger in their yard, so I think they have to put the Ox on the bottom. Their 1 card in hand is Golgari Thug right now. They do put the Ox on the bottom. Deck doesn't have Jace, it's not dead. I guess not. I cut the 4th Archmage Charm for a Jace, I think. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to win without showing them Jailer. I think that has value. I think that we can do that here pretty easily. They might have bring in answers to Kalitas. That's a good point. At the very least, it just seems correct not to show them the Jailer right now. So hand is Golgari Thug mystery card. They go ahead and concede. Like, I mean, they probably don't need to bring in like a million lightning axes to answer like the 1 or 2 of Kalitas that they would suspect, right? Okay, I'm gonna keep this. And I there are hands with Alt Jailer that I would keep. Like I would keep like, you know, clearing Force of Negation probably. Probably have to keep this. The push actually goes... The push is like good with the Kalitas. We have Force. I'm going to keep this. Obviously, we only have 2 lands, but... Pretty sure this is a hand that you're not supposed to throw away. I also think I'm not going to force Shriekhorn on turn 1. Maybe this is wrong. It's just so bad if they have Cathartic Read, and sometimes Shriekhorn isn't all that good. I think there are some hands you can afford to force Shriekhorn with. But this doesn't really feel like one of them. Kalitas is less appealing on the draw. I agree. This is Haggle. I think I'll force Haggle. They have an Ox. Yeah, maybe this hand was too bad on the draw. Maybe we'll just draw a Jailer off the top anyways. Drew a Drown that can't stop this Ox again. I just shuffled it away. Could you run Surgical in this deck instead of 1 or 2 Jailers? You could. I think it would be worse though. Like Jailer just comes down and beats Dredge. Dredge can really easily beat Surgicals. Am I countering this Loam if this is Loam? I don't think so. I think that I'm gonna cycle Typhoon and hope that we find Jailer in the top 2. And if we do, actually, I think are in good shape. We also like maybe draw like land plus counterspell for Ox. Cryptic was not on my wish list. Dredge can't beat Surgical Snap Surgical. It absolutely can. It absolutely can. Like usually it's like the 3rd Surgical, I think that's the nail in the coffin. But how I wish that were the case. Yeah, there's a chance now with this Haggle that Dredge counters the Ox, but might still be a bit too slow, especially seeing those Conflagrates in the yard from my Kalitas. And it's also just not true that Drown's going to counter Ox. I guess you could maybe counter a Loam first if they are going to Loam first. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should just mulligan to Jailer. I thought this hand was okay with Surgic with Force and Kalitas. We're pretty dead here. I think I'll play it out though. You can just kill Ox now. I mean, killing Ox isn't really like the problem. Could you push plus Drown? I can cast these cards, yes. Not even right now though, because I have River of Tears. But I feel like maybe we're failing to see the problem here. Yeah, the Cryptic Command Loch was good against them. Because you push the creature then drown. No, I only have 1 black mana right now. We're dead to this Conflagrate. Even if we tap draw. Feels bad. Sorry, believers.